The world is littered with eerie, forgotten places, locations where time stands still and silence screams the loudest. These abandoned sites aren't just creepy, they hold chilling stories of lost civilizations, tragic events, and mysteries that refuse to fade. Whether it's a decaying asylum with a dark past or a ghost town swallowed by nature, each place whispers haunting tales that send shivers down your spine. So, join us on this journey as we uncover 15 of the creepiest abandoned places that will leave you frozen in fear. And trust us, it's best to avoid visiting these places alone. Let's start off with number 15. Last House on Holland Island, USA. Once part of a thriving island community in the Chesapeake Bay, the Last House on Holland Island stood as a lonely ghost of what was once a small but successful settlement. The island, primarily made of mud and silt, was no match for the relentless erosion that slowly swallowed it whole. Over decades, rising waters forced residents to flee, leaving behind homes, churches, and a way of life. By the early 2000s, only one house remained, an eerie, weather-beaten relic stubbornly clinging to its vanishing land. Efforts to save the house proved futile, and in 2010, the inevitable happened. The last house collapsed into the rising tides. Today, only submerged remnants of the island remain, a haunting reminder of nature's unstoppable force. As climate change accelerates sea level rise, Holland Island's fate serves as a chilling warning that even entire communities can vanish without a trace. Number 14. Chateau Miranda, Belgium. Built in 1866, Chateau Miranda, aka Chateau de Noisy, was once a grand display of neo-Gothic architecture, commissioned by the Liedekerk de Beaufort family after they fled the French Revolution. But this fairy tale castle soon took a dark turn. Left unfinished after its architect's untimely death, it later became an orphanage and a refuge for sickly children. By 1970, the once elegant chateau had fallen into disrepair, and by 1991, it was completely abandoned as maintenance costs skyrocketed. With its pointed turrets, broken windows, and ivy-covered walls, Chateau Miranda quickly gained a reputation as one of Europe's most haunted places. Ghost hunters and urban explorers flocked to its eerie corridors, drawn by rumors of paranormal activity. Despite its eerie charm, nature and decay won the battle. By 2017, Chateau Miranda was demolished, leaving behind only memories and whispers of the souls that once roamed its crumbling halls. Number 13. Dhanushkodi, India. Once a bustling coastal town in Tamil Nadu, Dhanushkodi now stands as a barren, haunting ruin. In 1964, a catastrophic cyclone struck, wiping out the entire town in one night. Winds exceeding 170 miles per hour tore through the streets, swallowing homes, schools, and railway tracks. Over 1,800 people perished, and the government declared Dhanushkodi unfit for human habitation. Since then, the town has remained eerily frozen in time, its skeletal remains slowly being reclaimed by the sea. Crumbling churches, railway stations, and rusted train tracks serve as ghostly reminders of the once thriving settlement. The eerie silence of the place, combined with the endless stretch of deserted coastline, gives it an otherworldly feel. Though abandoned, Dhanushkodi is still visited by travelers seeking to witness the remnants of its tragic history. With its eerie emptiness and storm-ravaged ruins, this ghost town is one of India's most hauntingly beautiful places. Number 12. Hashima Island, Japan. Nicknamed Battleship Island due to its shape, Hashima Island is one of Japan's eeriest abandoned sites. Once a bustling coal mining town owned by Mitsubishi, Hashima was home to over 5,000 people in its prime. The island, just 9 miles from Nagasaki, housed miners and their families in tightly packed concrete apartments, making it one of the most densely populated places on Earth. But when Japan shifted from coal to petroleum in the 1970s, the mines were shut down and residents were forced to leave. In just a few months, Hashima became a ghost island, left to the mercy of typhoons and decay. For years, it remained untouched, frozen in time. Then, in the 2000s, its eerie, crumbling structures began attracting urban explorers and filmmakers, most notably in the James Bond movie Skyfall. Now a UNESCO-listed site, Hashima Island stands as a haunting symbol of Japan's industrial rise and fall. Number 11. Maunsell Sea Forts, England. Rising from the cold waters of the North Sea like rusted alien war machines, the Maunsell Sea Forts are some of the most bizarre abandoned structures in the world. Built during World War II to defend Britain's shores from German air raids, these steel giants once housed soldiers who manned anti-aircraft guns against incoming bombers. After the war, they were left to decay, their skeletal remains rusting against the backdrop of endless ocean waves. Over the years, the forts took on a new life. Pirate radio stations operated from them in the 1960s, and one structure even became the Principality of Sealand, a self-declared micronation. Despite their rusted, decaying state, the forts still stand defiantly in the sea, eerie relics of wartime Britain. Now, they serve as a surreal reminder of a bygone era, weathered, abandoned, yet somehow refusing to be forgotten. Number 10. Abandoned Mill, Italy. Hidden deep in the lush greenery of Sorrento, the Vallone dei Mulini, known as the Valley of the Mills, is a place where nature and history collide. This abandoned mill, built in the 13th century, was once a thriving wheat-grinding facility, powered by a nearby stream. But in 1866, the construction of Piazza Tasso altered the landscape, cutting the mill off from the sea and dramatically increasing the area's humidity. The result? The mill was abandoned, left to decay in the shadow of the cliffs. Over time, nature took over, with thick vegetation consuming the stone structure, turning it into a hidden jungle ruin. The combination of crumbling architecture and overgrown greenery creates an eerie yet mesmerizing sight, one that has become a dreamlike destination for photographers and travelers. Though silent and deserted, the abandoned mill is a hauntingly beautiful reminder of how quickly civilization can vanish when nature reclaims its space. Number 9. Underwater city of Shicheng, China. Deep beneath the waters of Qiandao Lake lies a forgotten wonder, Shicheng, or Lion City, an ancient metropolis frozen in time. Founded over 1,300 years ago, this city once flourished in China's Zhejiang province. But in 1959, during the construction of the Xin'an River hydropower station, Shicheng was deliberately submerged, lost beneath 40 meters of water. Unlike most ruins exposed to harsh weather, the lake preserved its intricate carvings, grand temples, and archways, keeping them eerily intact. Divers who explore the city describe a surreal sight, entire streets, homes, and statues standing untouched as if waiting for their residents to return. Though silent, Shicheng feels alive, a submerged relic of a bygone era. Now an eerie but breathtaking attraction, it's a reminder that history doesn't just fade, it sometimes drowns, waiting for those brave enough to uncover its secrets. Number 8. Fort Drum, Philippines. Nicknamed the Concrete Battleship, Fort Drum is an abandoned war machine frozen in time. Built in the early 1900s to defend Manila Bay, the fortress was designed to be impenetrable, with thick concrete walls and powerful artillery. But the war had other plans. In World War II, Japanese forces seized it, unaware that their control would end in one of the war's most brutal counterattacks. To reclaim Fort Drum, American troops filled its ventilation system with fuel and ignited it, trapping and incinerating every soldier inside. To this day, the fort remains a hollowed-out shell, its walls scarred by fire and history. Locals claim the spirits of those burned alive still haunt its dark corridors, whispering through the wind. Visitors who step inside report an overwhelming sense of unease, as if the ghosts of war still lurk within. Fort Drum isn't just a relic, it's a graveyard on the sea. Number 7. Abandoned subway tunnel, Kyiv, Ukraine. Beneath the bustling streets of Kyiv lies a forgotten underground world, a series of abandoned subway tunnels, now eerily silent and shrouded in mystery. Some tunnels were abandoned mid-construction due to Soviet-era changes, while others were deemed unsafe and left to decay. Today, they are partially flooded, with stalactites forming from the damp ceilings, creating an almost post-apocalyptic scene. Urban explorers brave enough to enter describe an unsettling atmosphere, with rusting tracks, crumbling walls, and the occasional echo of dripping water. The most infamous tunnels, located between University and Khreshchatyk stations, have sparked rumors of hidden bunkers and secret passages. Some even believe they were used for covert military operations. While the Kyiv metro thrives above, these forgotten tunnels remain a haunting relic of Soviet ambition, silent, untouched, and waiting for the curious or the foolish to venture inside. Number 6. Abandoned military hospital, Beelitz, Germany. The Beelitz Heilstätten hospital complex in Germany is more than just a decaying ruin. It's a place where history and horror intertwine. Originally built in the late 1800s, this vast medical facility was used to treat German soldiers during both World Wars. Even Adolf Hitler himself recovered here after being wounded in 1916. After World War II, it fell under Soviet control, serving as a military hospital until its withdrawal in 1995. Since then, most of the hospital has been left to rot. Cracked windows, peeling paint, and rusted hospital beds litter the once bustling halls. Vines creep through shattered doorways, nature reclaiming the eerie remains. Paranormal enthusiasts claim to hear whispers and footsteps echoing through the halls as if the past refuses to let go. Whether haunted or not, Beelitz Heilstätten is a chilling reminder of the soldiers, doctors, and patients who walked its now-abandoned corridors, some never to leave. Number 5. Pripyat, Chernobyl, Ukraine. Pripyat was once a thriving Soviet city, a futuristic paradise built for the workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. With over 49,000 residents, it had schools, parks, and a now infamous amusement park that never got the chance to open. But on April 26, 1986, everything changed. Reactor 4 exploded, releasing deadly radiation that turned Pripyat into a ghost town overnight. Families were given just minutes to evacuate, leaving behind toys, furniture, and half-eaten meals, snapshots of lives suddenly cut short. Today, the city stands frozen in time, its empty buildings slowly being reclaimed by nature. Gas masks litter classrooms, rusted Ferris wheels creak in the wind, and silence replaces the laughter that once filled the streets. The radiation lingers, a grim reminder that this place, despite its eerie beauty, is no longer meant for the living. Visitors who dare to step inside must tread carefully, both for their health and the spirits that may still remain. Number 4. Kolmanskop, Namibia. Deep in Namibia's desert, Kolmanskop was once a diamond hunter's paradise. In the early 1900s, German settlers built a miniature European town in the sands, complete with opulent mansions, a grand ballroom, and even the first X-ray machine in Africa. For years, it thrived as fortunes were made overnight, but as quickly as it rose, it fell. When richer diamond deposits were discovered elsewhere in the 1920s, Kolmanskop's golden age crumbled. The miners left, and the desert took back what was once its own. Today, Shifting dunes have swallowed entire buildings, spilling through windows and doorways and filling grand halls with golden sand. It's a haunting, surreal sight, an abandoned ghost town drowning in an ocean of dunes. As the wind howls through its skeletal remains, Kolmanskop stands as a stark reminder that even the greatest human ambitions are powerless against the forces of time and Mama Nature. Number 3. Hovrinskaya Hospital, Russia. A building shaped like a biohazard symbol. If that isn't an omen, what is? The Hovrinskaya Hospital in Moscow was supposed to be a state-of-the-art medical facility, but corruption and financial trouble left it abandoned before it ever welcomed a single patient. What remained was a monstrous, half-built structure that quickly became a breeding ground for urban legends. Locals whisper about satanic rituals, unexplained disappearances, and strange figures lurking in the shadows. The graffiti-covered halls are littered with debris, the ceilings threaten to collapse at any moment, and an unsettling silence looms over the place. Some say the spirits of those who met their end here still roam the corridors, forever trapped in a hospital that never even opened. Despite multiple attempts to demolish it, the ruins remain, drawing in thrill seekers and ghost hunters. Whether it's haunted or not, one thing is certain: this place is not for the faint of heart. Number 2. Kuldhara, India. Kuldhara is not just an ordinary abandoned village. It is a cursed one, or so the legend goes. Established in the 13th century by the prosperous Paliwal Brahmins, it was mysteriously deserted overnight in the early 19th century. Some say the villagers fled to escape heavy taxation, while others believe they were forced out by a ruthless noble. But before they left, they cursed the land, vowing that no one would ever live there again. And strangely, no one has. Every attempt to resettle Kuldhara has failed. Those who tried reported eerie sounds, ghostly apparitions, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. Today, the ruins stand under the relentless sun, cracked and crumbling, while the legend continues to grow. Tourists report feeling sudden chills in the desert heat and hearing whispers in the wind. Skeptics dismiss it as folklore, but one thing is undeniable: Kuldhara is as unsettling as it is abandoned. Number 1. Elda Castle, USA. Hidden in the woods of Ossining, New York, Elda Castle was meant to be a family sanctuary, a place of peace and legacy. Built in the 1920s by David T. Abercrombie, yes, the co-founder of Abercrombie & Fitch, the castle was named after his children and designed by his wife. But the dream soon turned into a nightmare. Tragedy struck when their daughter died in an accident, followed by David's own untimely death. Grief-stricken, his wife abandoned the castle, leaving it to decay. Over the decades, the stone fortress has been left to the elements, its once grand halls now overgrown and collapsing. Paranormal enthusiasts claim to hear whispers in the wind, and trespassers report an eerie feeling of being watched. Whether haunted or not, Elda Castle stands as a haunting reminder of broken dreams and the passage of time, proof that even the grandest homes can become ghostly ruins. If you've enjoyed watching this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you pretty soon in the next one.